Well, it's finally here. After 3 years from its initial Kickstarter, we finally have Half-Genie Hero. And I can say with certainty that barring a few flaws, it was definitely worth the wait. Maybe that's because all I remember is that this was on Kickstarter at the same time. But this isn't that, thank goodness, so let's take a look at WayForward's most recent release. Shantae is basically on its way to Mario status when it comes to redundant plot lines. Uncle Mimic creates a powerful machine that Risky Boot steals, Shantae gets fired from her position as Guardian Genie for something stupid, and she goes on a jumping, backtracking, hair-whipping adventure just to make things right. It's always a little different for each game. This time, you do stop her from stealing your uncle's plans in the beginning, but without spoiling things, let's just say it doesn't disappoint at being the exact same thing as every other game. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, though. Shantae's never been about a coherent story, and it's more about the gameplay and the colorful world and characters. You want your health permit back, huh? Well, you can't have it. Ha! Oh man. Okay, now I really feel bad. No, it's okay, I'll give it to you. Nah, oh come on, don't be like that, I was just kidding. No, really, it was just a joke, I'm sorry. Really though, the missions are structured as if it were to give you insight on what it's like being a Guardian Genie on a day-to-day basis. How you interact with characters and objectives is just so quaint. It's like if you had to make a game's story fit the slice of life genre. I love the world feel more than ever before. The hub of the game has your item store, bathhouse, and multiple characters to talk to. Whenever you're ready to take off from there, talk to your friend Sky to fly off and select the level you want to go to. Having levels rather than an open world simplifies the inevitable backtracking this game will have, and I think they did a good job of implementing it. All the levels themselves are expertly made, with each one designed to have new places to access and explore as you collect abilities, without these design choices hindering your first play through the level. Though, no matter how many times I revisit Main Street, it's still on fire. Someone should get on that or something. I can't talk about the levels without talking about Mermaid Falls. This might be my favorite area in a Shantae game of all time. You visit this area trying to figure out why maidens are disappearing, only to find them on conveyors being turned into false mermaids. Turns out one of the villains was doing this to turn them into counterfeit mermaid snacks or something like that. What? The level ends with a fight against a real giant mermaid who seems to think you're involved with her imprisonment. The premise is just so ridiculous, it's hard not to find it amusing. This isn't even touching on how many facets there are to this level, with more secrets to try your new abilities on than any of the other levels. Overall, there aren't really any outlier levels, but this one has the most going on, not just in its wacky story. The gameplay and the controls are super solid, which is a good thing because I felt, barring Pirate's Curse, the older games felt a little stiff. The dances are much more fluid than they've ever been, and they're far more useful than just using them as a one-off in a puzzle. I found myself frequently swapping between them depending on the situation, without them being required for it. Some dances are a little strange though. Like becoming a jar to generate infinite amounts of money so long as you have the magic for it. Or transforming into this... I don't know what this is. But I think it's better to have dances overutilized with some redundancy or gimmicks rather than underutilized like it has been in the past. Magic makes a return as well. A lot of it is returning magic or was previously an item in the old games, but they've been for the most part balanced out and are all pretty useful. A couple of them do break the game a bit though. I mean, one of the spells is just straight up called Invincible, and I bet you can't guess what it does. It lasts quite a while too, especially with the magic bracelet, which reduces magic consumption by half. In fact, in general, this game was incredibly easy. This might be my biggest complaint. I didn't even upgrade most of my magic until I completed the game, and I'm really thankful I didn't, or else I might have gotten incredibly bored before I got to its end. If you're hoping for anything that resembles a challenge, consider just not getting the magic altogether. It just wasn't very difficult at any time, on any stages, or against any bosses. Okay, yeah, I died on these auto-scrollers more times than I'd like to admit, but still. I've come to start expecting the Shantae games to clock in a little on the shorter side, and for me this one did not disappoint. My playthrough took me a little over 6 hours to complete the main story, and this includes me spending like half an hour to try to figure out just one puzzle. Tack on another hour or two to find all the extras for an alternate ending and to go achievement hunting, and you've done all there is to do. There is planned content for this in the future, such as alternate costumes and campaigns for side characters. But from what I've heard, if you weren't a backer, it's going to be paid DLC. I couldn't find anything that verifies this, but even if it isn't true, I want to base my review off of what's available now, rather than what's coming in the future. So is it worth it to buy it? I'm going to say yes, but with a couple of reservations. If budget is a non-issue for you, it's worth its asking price of $20 digitally or $30 for a physical copy and some extra goodies. If price is an issue for you though, consider keeping this lower on your priority list, unless you have other games to preoccupy yourself with once this one is over, or you don't have much spare time and you're just itching for a platformer. The value proposition is just a little too weak, and the gameplay doesn't make me go, get out there and buy it right now. Don't get me wrong, it's a great experience, and I do think it is worth the $20, but that might be asking a little much when it's really short and it's not going to be blowing anyone's mind. On that note though, if you haven't played Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, I consider that the better game, and you're much more likely to catch that on sale than this. And that's what I think of Half-Genie Hero. I didn't write anything as an ending transition. Huh. Well, I'm done. There's no more. Bye. You can go away now. Oh, hi there. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, you'd be helping me out by giving me a like. And if you didn't, feel free to berate me in the comments. I plan on coming out with at least a video a week, although the holidays kinda ruined that for this week. I've already reviewed all the other Shantae games on my channel, but if you've already seen those, you should check out my video on the worst Wii game I think I've ever played. And now, I disappear.